taking the migraine meds, being addicted again, having a migraine.
Someone left us a present.
Hey everyone, I'm Kit. This weekend, my sibling and I are going backpacking for just one night in the Charles C. Deam Wilderness area inside the Hoosier National Forest. I am so enthusiastic for this because they and I have talked, going back almost a decade, about someday backpacking in the Hoosier National Forest. So taking our very first trip to start exploring the area is a really special day. And I'm also excited that we managed to get this scheduled in, because this is going to be the last trip that Terrill is available for a big chunk of the summer. So I'm looking forward to getting some good sibling time in and exploring an area where we can do dispersed camping, and hopefully a space I'll be back to more throughout the summer. All right, folks, we are at the Hickory Ridge Trailhead, and we're gonna today head out on the Sycamore Loop. We're gonna kind of just see how far we feel like going. I think our ideal solution is to end up at campsite 5, but if we get tired earlier, we'll stop a little earlier. And mostly this is just about exploring the area and having fun on the one night we've got. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the trail. Here's our turnoff.
Let's go.
Here is where we switch away from Terrill Ridge Road, and we are beginning to descend into the valley.
He is a little big to be climbing that tiny thing.
Yeah, I wonder what he is.
Antenna look moth-like to me.
Yeah. I would really love any input anybody has on what this guy is, because he is fascinating.
Big mushroom. He's really liking that log.
Half a mile in, it is beautiful hiking so far. It's definitely a little bit overgrown, as the most recent reviews said, but not badly. Just plants encroaching on the side of the trail. And clearly some of the recent blowdowns have been very well cleaned, although it looks like there might be a spot we might have to climb over just a little ways down there. The bottom of the valley, just under a mile out from the car, and we're taking a very brief break to hydrate, snack, and pee break at a little unofficial campsite here. And then we'll keep going and look at, we passed 1, but we're gonna peek in on 2, 3, and 4 as we go. See if any of them look more tempting than making the climb back up out of the valley to get to 5 and the little pond up there. Geode hunting is actually pretty popular down here, and you are allowed to climb personal use, but I think just come and add hillside. That's what it looks like to me. Huh. Yeah. Just kind of disappear into the mud. So we have no idea what they are, but they are sure taking advantage of this creek. Too, but we can't find it despite all trails having a map point and there being signs from the trail pointing to a spur trail to campsite too. The little trails just kind of peter out, and we poked around for a while, but found a good spot to sit, so I guess we're having lunch here. So while we were eating by the creek, Turtle looked up and was like, "Hey, isn't that the campsite?" So, yeah. We found campsite too. All trails thought this campsite was on the north side of the creek, and it's actually on the south side. So we were just looking on the wrong side of the creek for the campsite. But as lovely as this little pine stand is, I want less miles to do tomorrow, so we've got to do a few more miles today and keep moving on. But yeah, here's campsite 2. Campsite 4 is lovely, and it falls right past that 2.5 mile mark where I start feeling really tired. So I was halfway convinced we'd be cutting off early and stopping here tonight. But there's a combination of it would be 4 miles to hike out tomorrow, and I'm not in love with any of the potential hang spots here. There's several good ones, but the many downed trees crisscross and block off some of the better ones. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick stretch break and then attack the big climb and try to get up to campsite 5. Or, you know, any good old dispersed camp we find before that point when we're tired enough to stop. Also, electrolytes. Water tanks are topped off now. I just have the 2 1-liter bottles plus a little mini holdout for my measuring bottle that I had some water in. But Turtle, since I carried all the food, Turtle volunteered to be the water carrier and has started with almost 4 liters. More than 4 liters. The big metal containers split a gallon between them. And so they topped me off without us having to do a full filter stop right now. Let's get ready to go up. We're about halfway up the hill. Halfway campsite 5. There's definitely some real work climbing this, and I'm not enjoying the scenery very much. It is nice, but I'm focused on working, and wooded hillsides are just not as captivating to me as the real areas. But we are not surrounded by thorny shrubs, which some chunks of the creekside path were. So I really hope campsite 5 is nice. I think you're right, we are getting a little more breeze up here. We just crossed the 4-mile mark. We just crossed the 4-mile mark. Trail has us being very close to camp, so I'm hopeful. I'm feeling better now that we're no longer on the climb. We've been flat just a little bit, but I'm really looking forward to getting to camp. Taking my time getting set up. We made it! Someone left us a present. Now this is a quite charming little campsite. It is, in fact, right on the pond, which is very cute. Finally got my hammock pitched. It took a little extra long because I needed to tie on lines for my brand new tarp. I'm super excited. This weighs a lot less than the giant I was using before. And while I love having the flexibility of being able to make doors and so on, I really am, my back is happy with this upgrade. It literally made my pack weigh in like I hadn't added my water yet. I weighed in at 33 pounds today, even with full water bottles, so it makes a big difference. I've got cheesy chicken and rice for dinner. It's very pale because my cheese powder is white cheddar, but it tastes good. It's creamy. Turtle, I know you had before dinner hot cocoa. And what are you making for dinner? Mmm, fluffy. Very fluffy. Dinner is done. Evening hygiene is done. So now it's time to be cozy in my clean woolies and start setting up my interior hammock space for some chill time and reading this evening. It is just after 10 p.m. and Turtle's been asleep, I think, since their head hit the pillow. But it's full dark now, and I'm getting pretty drifty, so it is time for me to sleep as well. I'll see you all bright and early in the morning.
So I slept pretty well last night. Very warm, actually. It didn't get any colder tonight than it did on our very first trip. About 49, maybe 47. I haven't double-checked the thermodrop. But, I did some underquilt tweaks, so I was actually so warm I didn't have my top quilt all the way tucked up. And that gives me some confidence I could push into colder temperatures. Not that we're likely to have a lot more of those until the fall, but good to know. And I unfortunately woke up with a little bit of a headache, so I'm hoping coffee and breakfast fixes that. But I have a lot of time for a nice slow morning, which is the upside of us only doing an overnight. We don't have to rush home. Turtle doesn't have to go to work. I don't have anything else scheduled. This just is what it is, and we only have 2 miles to hike out, so we don't have to worry about time for that.
About like taking the migraine meds means I'm admitting I'm having a migraine. Especially when I'm trying to do something like camping, but I think I do just need to admit it and take them right now, because yeah. It's about 10 a.m. My migraine meds have finally kicked in, thankfully. So we're going to start slowly packing up camp and filtering water before hiking out. Well, we filtered some water. And by filtered some water, I mean we got 2 liters and called it good. Because this pond, while cute, is definitely very high in particulate. And it was quite the effort to both collect with a pre-filter and to filter. So 2 liters should get us out. If not, Turtle has indicated willingness to scramble down a bank to get to a creek that looks like it'll be on our way. But I think we'll be fine. So I just need to stop being slow, finish packing up, and then we can get moving.
No rush.
Yeah, but like,
We do want to get home and take showers.
you packed up already. We're not staying here.
No.
So I've discovered something very sad. I'm glad that this didn't give out on me last night, but I might have to be looking into hammock replacement sooner rather than later. I'm going to do some research on patches when I get home. But my understanding is those have limited utility with the kind of strains that go on hammocks. Thankful for this really good diamond ripstop, though.
So how are you using your pack liner? Are you just putting everything in it?
Huh?
Now I'm feeling back.
Yeah, I've been putting everything in it. I thought about, especially on the way out, putting just my down in it, but I can't compress the air out of the down as well when it's wrapped in the nylon. Like,
yes.
I literally started doing that this time, and I was like, oh, this isn't working.
That makes sense.
And I do want, like, my hammock itself to stay dry, too.
Right.
Bucketing, or I took it to
Right.
a string.
Right.
The chance, you know? The chance for disaster to be over.
But what if you needed a spare? Who knows where you'll ever be able to get leaves again?
Everything to the bottom of the I don't see a spindle, but I never got it out, so I'm going to presume it fell into the bottom of the pack somewhere and is okay. I'm not unpacking the whole thing to find out. We're just living a dangerous life. I mean, we'll check to make sure it's not on the ground. I'm more worried about any damage from the compression lower in the pack, but...
Yeah. Or it's stabbing something else, I suppose.
Yeah.
But at this point, might as well leave it in there and just unpack it once.
It's done. Goodbye, frogs. Goodbye, frogs. Goodbye, campsite. We ready to hike on out? Yeah. Okay. All right, we've gone just about a mile. My migraine meds did kick in all the way, but the primary thing that helps with is pain. I am not in any significant pain right now, but while I'm not quite as much of a limp noodle as I would be if this was uncontrolled, I'm still more fatigued, more floppy, definitely a little more stumbly, which I have to watch out for and makes me go slower to avoid problems. If I'm starting to feel the exertion, I start feeling the pain creep back up. So, taking a pack off break. Since we started this hike, for some reason, All Trails decided that despite the camp being 4.3 miles in, and the loop all the way back to the car being 6.3 miles long total, it thinks we have more than 2 miles back to the car. So, we'll see how long it actually takes us. But we'll get there in the end, and that's what matters. We made it to Terrill Ridge Trail. We got there. Bye-bye, Sycamore Trail.
Bye.
You were fun. We'll be back.
Yes.
Hiking on this forest road may be boring, objectively, but my poor stumbly feet like boring right now. And it is very pretty, even for a forest road. Taking a brief lunch break at a pond just off of Terrill Ridge. All Trails tracks us as having hiked 2 miles away from camp so far, but we are clearly still not at the car. It shouldn't be more than a little over half a mile still, is my guess. Something in tracking is probably off a little because my phone has been on low battery mode to try to save as much for filming as possible. So, yeah, doing all right. Gonna enjoy eating some lunch, and that'll hopefully give me the fuel. Keep going. Get to the car. Get home. Kiss my wife. Go out for dinner. People, do not do this. This is just... I don't know. I don't have good words. They're all bad words. The only things for this are bad words.
Yeah, this is an outhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. Not successfully. I'm so glad we both brought trash bags. Well, we collected a whole grocery bag of other people's trash. And now I think we're ready to make the final push to the car. If you are. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Trailhead ahead. So we parked here and hiked all the way out. Considered stopping here, but instead went up and camped at 5. And then today we hiked all the way back out to here. Get back to the car. Learned things this trip. What things did we learn this trip?
Pond water has a flavor.
Pond water does have a flavor, which we kind of knew, but the takeaway, I think, is if you're stopping at a creek that looks really pretty to filter from and you have room in your bottles, it might be worth stopping up. Also, we definitely want to do a siblings only trip at least once a year. We've been doing that.
Yeah.
And that I really like the Trail Deam Wilderness, which I was hoping I would. So I'm excited to come back out here and explore other trails, take Creature down on Sycamore sometime. She'll go nuts over the ferns.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, for now, it's time to head towards home. Things immediately trying to fall out of my brain. You know.
I mean, I'm gonna leave that one where it is. Falling right out of your brain.
I am having a migraine. It is to be expected.
Yes, your brain is currently leaking. What was that about blooper reel content? We did miss your best one this time.
Literally everything out of it. Well, not literally. There's a few things that's good toothbrush. Well-behaved toothbrush. Toothbrush is a model toothbrush. You also learn from toothbrush. Oh.